Well, if you think you might be the victim of racial prejudice from Florida police officers, don't tell that to Broward County Judge Jay Hurley. The judge drawing a lot of heat after his angry response to a defense attorney. On the streets, the rising tension and fear between police and black citizens is a very real emotion. That feeling doesn't seem to stand in Judge Hurley's courtroom.
So I'm going to say
shots are being fired, and he's running from the scene because shots are being fired.
Right. And he's got
in light of what's happening in
got it.
Your Honor,
Sir,
in light of what's happening in this country with unarmed black men being killed by police,
don't hand me that. Don't hand me that.
From shots being fired.
Don't even go down that road. I'm not going to let you go down that road. That is so off base. We've got a young man. I don't care what color he is. He's in a neighborhood he doesn't live in at 1:41 in the morning, hiding on under somebody's dock in the water with a holster on after a police officer had a shot taken at him. Don't hand me this. He's a black man running from police brutality. Look, that is not appropriate in this case. That's not there. I'm not going to let you poison this case with bringing in something that has nothing to do with it. Your bond's $100,000 on count 3 and $100,000 on count 4. Thank you.
Now you can see the dejection on the face of the defendant there, and a lot of reaction. This video gaining a lot of traction online, a lot of criticism now coming toward Judge Hurley. It is fair to say after he had some time to compose himself, the judge did apologize for his outburst, but it's not the first time Hurley drew some negative press. Last summer, another defendant cursed at the judge, and Hurley responded by charging him with contempt and sending him away to jail for 364 days. Now in Miami, and the whole South Florida region, thousands of people voicing their support, standing together in solidarity with the people of Paris. They want to show their support. Now, as it's starting to become custom here in the U.S., whenever an attack like this happens around the world, security analysts, experts, they all get together and start to predict whether or not U.S. citizens should fear an attack on American soil. Now, a lot of that conversation starts and ends with just who were these killers anyways? Now, when you look at many of the different videos showing up online, it appears that the terrorists in Paris used military tactics, and many people are saying they showed some advanced training, perhaps from Yemen. While it appears as though they may have military experience, some of the reports say they left behind their ID badges in a getaway car, and that's clearly an amateur mistake, not the sign of a professional soldier. So what does all this mean for us here? Well, government officials consider it a big difference for a threat level and national security if a threat was a lone wolf, just a couple of guys acting on their own randomly, or they would treat it much differently if it was an organized military operation. As that investigation is still underway, federal officials are waiting to say and what it could mean for us locally and here in the U.S. Elsewhere, a Florida man facing federal drug charges after agents say they caught the man trying to smuggle cocaine into Canada, carrying it inside of a hollowed-out loaf of bread. Prosecutors say 34-year-old Tyrone Dixon drove the car north on Route 91 all the way through Vermont when he made an illegal U-turn between the U.S. and Canadian border. Federal agents found the drug after stopping Dixon and searching the car. Another story starting to slip under the radar here in the region. Cuba just released 3 more political prisoners. According to early reports, this is a part of the recent deal to restore U.S.-Cuban relations after a 56-year Cold War blockade. 2 19-year-old twins, Diongo and Bianco Vargas Martin, both released and didn't have to go through any extra courtroom red tape either. The twins were originally on their way home to visit their mother 3 years ago when Cuban officials arrested them and charged them with threatening a state official. They've been in jail ever since. Now another prisoner, Enrique Miranda, also released the night before in similar fashion. Didn't have to go through any of the regular traditional courtroom red tape, the whole process. It was an immediate release. The Cuban government released a statement saying the prisoners have been freed immediately with no conditions. And the case is closed. After a long, drawn-out court battle, Broward County Judge Giselle Pollock decides finally to give up her position on the bench. Pollock faced severe penalties for showing up to work drunk on more than one occasion. The first time she got caught drunk on the job, the Judicial Commission gave her a second chance. But the second time it happened, she faced a much steeper battle to get her job back. Not only did the Judges Commission allow her to take her job back the first time, but she also injured another driver while driving under the influence. Obviously, you can imagine the judges who gave out that second chance not too happy. Now Pollock says she's closing this chapter of her life. She's going to move on, and she says she still hopes to serve the public in some other capacity.